Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain. I'm Rachel. Now I finished my coffee already for the moment, so you will have to forgive me for not having one here on hand. But we are going to go ahead and dive straight into the book of the moment, which, let's just say, I have thoughts. It is called Bones by K.L. Speer, and it is Bones number 1. Now, according to Goodreads, it has a fairly high rating. And I am sorry to say, but my rating is not going to be that high. I probably give this a 3 to a 3.5 stars. And I will talk to you guys about why. Now, I almost never come on here and talk about a book that I didn't enjoy. But this one has a lot of things about it, and it has an audience that seems to have really enjoyed it. There were just a lot of things going on that we can talk about once I get the summary done. So let's dive into that and we'll go from there. Bones was born with miraculous power to heal, but all her gift has brought is death. As a child, her older brother trained her to survive, and so survive she did. The blood on her hands will never wash off. She is broken and scarred in more ways than one, but she survived. After finally escaping the ruthless raiders who imprisoned her for 12 long years, Bones is haunted by her past and desperate for atonement. Freedom is short-lived, however, as the rumors of her abilities catch up to her. Dragged to the northwest mountain stronghold known as the Vault, Bones finds herself involuntarily drawn to the tight-knit crew who captured her, and the feelings she begins to develop for Trey, the heart of the crew, scare her more than all the horrors of her past. Bones struggles to maintain her distance, navigate her trauma, and deal with the new, horrifying ways her healing powers are used to root out a budding revolution. As her defenses slowly break down, everything she believed about herself and the world is challenged, forcing her to confront the question, what are you surviving for? This is a post-apocalyptic romantasy that deals with dark themes. Check content warnings at the author's website, K.L. Speer, that's KLSPEER.com/content warnings. So, it is considered, it says it's a dark romance or romantasy, dystopia. Maybe, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there, maybe dark romance is not for me. It has got some spicy scenes in it. I'm not mad about that. This book, though, it drove me insane. And okay, if this girl had said she was fine one more time, I was going to DNF this book so fast. Okay, but I didn't, because she said she was fine more times than I can count, to the point that I think if one of my friends says they are fine in real life, I'm going to smack them and then tell them they are lying to me. Because there is no way I can ever trust anybody who says they're fine. Now, thing is the people around her, they don't believe that she's fine. They know she's not fine, but she's so closed-lipped about herself that that's all she ever has to say to anybody, is that she's fine. So she was captured when she was young, and I want to say like not 10, but maybe like 12, when she was about 12 years old. And so she had been kicked out of her original home group due to something that really I don't think was her fault. It didn't sound like it was her fault, but she was 10 years old at the time, and she blamed herself. Her father blamed her. Her brother blamed her. And so, sorry, I just kicked the camera. I think so. Stay right there. I'm a little blurry. I'm sorry. But back to the story. So she's not fine, and she's not been fine for a very long time. Let's just say for the past 14 years. So from the point that she was kicked out of her, again, family group, to the moment that she finds herself with Trey and his crew, she's not been fine. So she was barely surviving / struggling while she was in another raider group. Now, this raider group was very rough and rugged, but she was treated as the personal property of their leader. And so she was not allowed to pretty much heal anyone, even when she could. She could only heal him. Well, then it accidentally got like released to, I guess somebody else found out that she could heal, and then the crew found out, and then it started kind of a revolution that the leader was not being a very good leader. He was absolutely keeping this prized possession to himself. Well, somehow she finds herself like locked up in like what seems to be some sort of like, sounds like a vault, but we go to a vault. So she sounds like she was locked up. She's more or less kind of rescued / pulled out by Trey and his crew. Trey gets injured, so she heals him because she can, and they find out she can heal, so now they take her back to their madam, and she's kind of like the leader of their vault. And so I don't know, every time they said vault, I would, gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to move that camera stand or something because I keep bumping it. But every time they said vault, my brain went to like Fallout, and then it went into the vaults. So that was a whole imagery that I was just, I guess, not supposed to have, but was having anyway. I assumed it was more like a compound, like in Walking Dead, where they have all the barbed wire and the razor wire and the fencing and the guards. That's what I actually assumed this vault was like. But I get it that she can't trust anybody, but I don't know. There was just something about it that I was just like, girl, if you hate it so much, just leave. And yet she was like so abrasive and so mean and so hateful at so many different times. And again, on one hand, I kind of get it. On the other hand, it was just grating on my nerves. I didn't see a single ray of hope in this book until at one particular point. And then the author decides to go ahead and distinguish that too, and just say, you know what? No, you can't have that either. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to be very, very controversial in a lot of different ways, because I've had conversations at work as well about this. I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones, and I'll tell you why. I don't like that hateful hatred of just torture and abuse and gore and starvation and trauma. I don't like it. I don't read books for that, because that's what the real world has. And I don't read books to try to experience in my brain real world things. I already feel like my brain has enough trauma from the dumpster fire that we're currently residing in. So the more I read this book, and yes, I did finish it. And will I read book number 2? No, probably not. But I was done. I almost DNF'd at about 30% in when these people just like, I don't know, they were trying so hard to welcome her, to be nice to her. Yes, the madam is really, really hateful herself. I don't know how she is still, well, let's just say I don't know how she was still the leader whenever we first meet her in the book, but dang, she convinces Bones, or she uses Bones as like a torture device or torture machine. She the madam will pretty much like torture a person with knives or what have you, pummeling to the brink of death. Then she has Bones heal them, and she does it all over again until Bones kind of runs more or less out of juice. Now because she can use up her power until she needs to rest. But anyway, there was a lot about this book that was driving me crazy. And so and I know I'm not the only one who almost DNF'd this, and in fact, I see one that actually, like, did DNF it at about 50%. And I don't frequently, like I said, bring you guys books that I am just not like willing to say, yes, go get this. Now, this could absolutely be a lot of people's cup of tea. They could like the angst. They could like the characters. They could like the things that's like building. It wasn't for me. I don't feel like the world building was really there. I don't know what happened to create this post-apocalyptic world. Maybe that's what we're supposed to find out in later books, but honestly, at this point, I don't even think I'm that interested. It's heartbreaking without any source of hope. And for me, the rays of hope are the pieces that keep me going forward. And I don't know. That's kind of what I have to say about this book. And the thing is I see, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm looking here on Goodreads, and it has 1,356 5-star reviews. I am not one of them, but I can clearly see between 5 stars and 4 stars that this book has 79% 5 stars and 4 stars reviews. And that is out of over 2,800 reviews. So I know it's a me thing. I know that this book hits some triggers that I was not ready for. So that's one of the reasons I'm bringing it to you guys. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm trying to tell you guys why it didn't work for me. Now, it 100% is just me. So I want you guys to consider seeing if this is a book you are interested in. And I did go on Goodreads before I decided to do this review to see if more people were liking it or not liking it. And the reason I wanted to go ahead and do it is because a lot of people were liking it. There are 721 written reviews for this book. Now, a few of them, and a very small percentage, only 2% have 1 star. That's a really good, that's really good for a book. And it looks as though this author only has 2 books, and it's probably this book and its sequel, Fangs. Now, it does leave off on a pretty big cliffhanger. And again, sadly, I am not the person who is going to go into that book. I don't know what it was particularly. Maybe it's the brutality that didn't work for me. Maybe that's the part that kind of gave me that sense of unease that I didn't want to finish it. But the thing is I wanted to go ahead and finish it when I realized that so many other people enjoyed it. Again, I'm not a dark romance person. I'm usually not even a romantasy person in general, even though I will dabble to see what's going on. I read some Kimberly Lemming books that were both hilarious and spicy as heck. But this one definitely has some spicy moments. And yet there was just something that I found that didn't work for me. So that was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to bring you guys this book. Is I know I'm an outlier on this one, but I wanted to bring you guys my perspective on this book. So now, this particular person, Mylene, she wrote that, if you're curious, some of the tropes that are found in this book are found family, grumpy sunshine, who did this to you, ? Touch her and I'll kill you, love to hate, one bed, and spice. Now, trigger warnings, and I knew most of these, but I guess was the way it was presented was gore and torture, sexual abuse, poverty and starvation, realistic PTSD and trauma, and mental health struggles. So those are just a few, so please be aware. But if this sounds like something you might be interested in, please give it a chance. Again, I'm not giving it 2%. I'm not. I'm giving it 3 stars. So I'm in like a 13% category. It's not for me, but it could be for some of you guys. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here and let you guys decide if Bones by K.L. Speer is something that you are interested in. So yeah, let's just say Bones is not her name, but it's the name she goes by. So that's a pretty interesting thing as well. But Thank you so much, and I'll see you all on the next page. Have a great one.